if you had any reason to completely just disavow any connection whatsoever to the mainstream media and this leftist nonsense, it's the way they deal with Russia. And how we're living in this Rocky and Bullwinkle, Boris and Natasha, get you a little squirrel. This is the most ridiculous thing in the world. We're talking about how to deal and how to negotiate with a nuclear superpower, and they're maintaining this absolute lunacy for reasons I don't understand. We're kissing Zelensky's ass for reasons I don't understand. Yet we're turning around and I don't know what. I don't know what it is. I don't understand what it is. I'll tell you another thing I don't understand. Would you please stop talking about the tariffs unless you know what the hell you're talking about? What is it that people want the president to do? Do you understand the tariffs? No. You got Milton Friedman's against it, Thomas Sowell's against it, you got the Rand Paul's against the tariffs. Okay, fine. What are you supposed to do? What? Nobody understands them. Nobody has any basis to understand what they like or don't like or not like about tariffs. Nobody. And yet, all of a sudden, they're pretending to be experts in this. So this is where we are right now. This is where we are in this incredible cacophony. We're going to be talking about this today. I had a hell of a time. I did an overnight show last night on WABC, my alma mater, from 2 a.m. to 6 this morning. So I'm a little shingat. I got a little later start. I'm kind of like, my body saying, what the hell was this all about? But it was absolute heaven. And it's wonderful to be doing, regular AM talk in New York overnights, but having spoken to you for all these years and this particular sensibility, to apply it to that arena is fascinating because you keep me, how do I say this? You keep me so connected to the reality part of this. I don't even know how to say it. You make me so sharp and so ability to go from one to another, which is true. So I owe that to you. And yet I understand, and this is important, I understand that a lot of folks don't know what you know. So I'm going to teach them what you know. Okay? So it's that very simple. So anyway, I want you to join us right now. First of all, make sure you're subscribed to Lionel Nation. Let me say how great it is to be with you, how I love. Make sure you are subscribed, because if you are not, sometimes I may just go on. Like right now, I just went on. This went, as we used to say, hit the bird, which is the satellite. This is kind of like a bird, so to speak. So this is so important and so critical right now. Lionel Nation, make sure you are subscribed. Make sure you are paying attention. And before we do, pay close attention to this important critical word from our critical sponsor. Are you drowning in debt, struggling with credit cards or medical bills or personal loans? Well, you're not alone. There's help, real help available right now. National Debt Relief is one of the top-rated debt relief companies in America, helping thousands of individuals like you break free from overwhelming financial burdens. For anyone owing over $10,000, National Debt Relief may be able to reduce that debt by up to half or even more. No bankruptcy, no new loans, just a smarter, faster way to financial freedom. Here's how it works. Step 1, you submit the form at No Debt with Lionel. Just go there right now. Step 2, a representative will call within minutes to discuss personalized options. In step 3, they'll create an affordable plan tailored to your individual budget and timeline. Many clients become debt-free in as little as 24 to 48 months, paying less than they owe and avoiding years of stress and interest. And the consultation is completely free with no obligation. So what are you waiting for? Why keep dodging calls and watching interest stack up? So go right now to NoDebtWithLionel.com. That's NoDebtWithLionel.com. This could be the turning point, the step toward peace of mind, control, and a fresh start. NoDebtWithLionel.com. Go now. A couple of things here. Let me just give you a kind of an up-to-speed thing. Again, I'm trying to figure out, where did this come from? And maybe it's me, but when I was a kid, growing up in the 60s as a little kid, I was told, and I was I guess I was, for some reason, taught that Russians were the bad guys. I don't understand why. It's like, well, because of the Cold War and all this kind of jazz. Okay, fine. So Russians were the bad guys, and then right around, I think it was maybe the 60s when Rocky and Bullwinkle came along. We were told even then that the Russians are the bad guys, and they were always portrayed as evil. And they were portrayed as, always plotting, and the way they always dour, always, plotting something. It's the most stupid thing I've ever seen in my life. So for reasons I don't understand, and I'm sorry, I have a hard time trying to pretend how do I say this? How it works. But let me just give you an example of something. There's I look at X, which is of course a way to do it. And there is a wonderful piece. And I think we're talking about this. There is a wonderful piece as to Russian diplomats finally meeting with President Trump, talking and trying to work out something, just whatever this deal is. And I'm supposed to, for some reason, and I'm serious. And by the way, I don't trust anybody, and trust everybody. Nobody doesn't mean I distrust anybody. But here's the deal, which I don't understand. In whatever the year was when Zelensky came along and he said, by the way, I'm going to be in NATO. Now NATO, for many people believe, NATO is just of the belief many people have that this is some kind of an extension of the United States. That NATO is us, we are NATO. Then NATO, they're the good guys or whatever. Not necessarily. Okay, fine. So they told President Putin, Zelensky, Ukraine, on the border, is going to join NATO. And he said, oh, no. Everything was fine before. Everything was groovy. I think, you remember Crimea and the other 4 oblasts? I can't remember them right now. I'm a little shingad. But he said, oh, no. You are not going to have a NATO satellite or NATO member or NATO on my border. Does that make sense to you? Makes sense to me. You may not like Russia. You may hate them. You may hate Russia. You may say, I hate Russia. Okay, fine. But follow me on this one. And by the way, do yourself a favor. You got to get your friend the globe, and you got to look where Ukraine is next to Russia. It's right next door. It'd be like, I don't know, somebody coming to Mexico or Canada and doing this stuff. And we would say, oh, no. We even have the Monroe Doctrine. The Monroe Doctrine, which basically says you can't come here at all, no matter who you are. Let's do a quick chat GPT. Ready for this? I like this. This is to ask, what is the Monroe Doctrine? Chat GPT. Grok 2 AI. The Monroe Doctrine is a foundational principle of American foreign policy, first articulated by President Monroe in 1823, and it basically says that the Americas were no longer open to colonization by European powers, and any attempt by a European nation to interfere in the political affairs of countries in the Western Hemisphere would be seen as a hostile threat against the United States. In return, the U.S. would stay out of European wars and affairs. Well, so that's our Monroe Doctrine. You got that? Does that sound silly to you? Does it? Does that sound bad? I don't know. Maybe not. But we said, hey, that's good. Good for you. You tell those. What if China showed up in Tijuana or Canada or anybody else for that matter? We say, get the hell out of here. You can't do this. Or Russia for that matter. We go crazy. If Russia all of a sudden is some foreign, but not just any foreign country. If Liechtenstein all of a sudden, I don't think it'd be a problem. Okay. In fact, in 1962, we almost went to war because Russia decided to put its missiles, or its whatever, in Cuba. Cuba was kind of a sovereign country. We said, oh, no, 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 no. Get them out of there. Excuse me, U.S., who are you? Who are we? We're the United States. You can't go there. What do you mean we can't go there? This is Cuba. None of your business. Bullshit, none of your business. You're 90 miles from our shore. That's it. Wait a minute. No, you wait a minute. Okay, you got it? You got how that works? Okay. That's exactly how that works. Now, if I told you this was any other country, you'd say, well, that makes complete and total sense. But if it's Russia, you say, oh, no, 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 that's different. Why? Well, Putin's got to just put up with it because he's evil and a communist, and they're not communists, by the way. By the way, don't you love the way the President Trump refers to Vietnam as the Communist Republic of, no, it's the Socialist Republic. Call them communist. Because in the U.S., communist, socialist, Marxist. Okay, fine. Now, so Putin says that and everything's groovy. Okay, great. Now, what happens then? This is important. This is important to know. At one particular point, he says, listen, don't do this. And this was going on for years. He said, don't do this. Don't do this. You're not going to do anything. Blow it out your ass. We're going to do, we're NATO. Right, Zelensky? Yes, I'm Zelensky. 1 minute I'm playing organ with my dick, and the next day I pull on my green shirt and I'm a warrior. Okay, fine. And Mr. Putin said, now listen, I'm giving you another chance. I'm telling you, I am not bullshitting you. I'm telling you the truth. You are not going to be a member of NATO. I'm going to be a member of NATO. Nothing you can do. Yeah, something we can do. You don't understand. We're Russia. And remember that we said, Russia, they have no troops. Oh, yeah, they do. Russia. Remember they said about Putin. Remember Putin had cancer. Putin was dead. Putin had Parkinson's. The other day they said there was a limo that blew up. Putin he's missing. It's bullshit. And Putin's thinking, what do these people say? They just make this up. They don't even care. Oh, remember that? Oh, the Russians, the soldiers, they're just drunk, always drunk, of course, on the vodka, and they just make this up. Do you have any idea of the Russian? Okay. So he said, okay, fine. And he never loses his cool. Same thing with Lavrov. They just never lose their cool. It's like, okay. It's like they know who we are. It's like we're like the crazy drunk at the bar. And they're trying to talk us down. It's like, okay, I know. You got to be tough. And thank God President Trump is smart enough to realize that Putin poses no threat to us. China may do in terms of trade, everything else, but the people who threatens us right now, Europe. Can you believe this? Okay, so let's go back to this. So President Putin says, now listen, I'm warning you. And sure enough, the military operation started. And he said, okay, this is not a full-fledged war. If we wanted to wipe out Ukraine, we would. We don't want to do that. Stop this. So at first, remember years ago, Zelensky and President Putin, we're going to work things out. And then Boris Johnson came in. Bojo, oh, no, you don't. Oh, no. Why? Because they're NATO. Now, my friends, you might be asking yourself, what is NATO? What is with NATO? What do they really want? You know what? That's a good question. NATO is a vestige. It's an anachronism. It's from a time where Russia was where the Soviet Union was it, right? This the Soviet Union. Everybody was about the Soviet Union. This goes back to World War II. A lot of people said, this Stalin guy, he's our ally, but I don't know about him. And Stalin was a maniac. Stalin, and if I tell this to people, they go crazy. Russia could have very easily have won the war. Not easily, pardon me, excuse me. No, not easily, but they could have won World War II without us. I know that's inconceivable, but they could have. It would have been longer. It would have been far bloodier if that's even possible. But we have, of course, this Saving Private Ryan version of what Russia was. Because remember, we create history. We do. We create whatever history we want. And if you think our media are lying, our history is even worse. We just make it up. We just make up whatever we want. Just write it. Anyway, So this was going on and going on and going on. And finally they said, and Putin said, listen, I am not going to send my men and women, but troops in there to fight into this meat grinder. You're on our border. You can stop it any way you want. They're having conscription. They're pulling people out of cars to get them to fight. You can believe me or not. You can look at the Ukrainian soldiers. It's a joke. Pilgrim says, read the Gulag Archipelago to know what it took. Not now. I'd like to read it later. But thank you so much for that. I appreciate that. So this is, oh, by the way, Ann says, I like this. Ann says, I've tried to explain to so many people that NATO courting Ukraine is what started this, and they told me I was nuts. Whatever. I know, of course, they don't like that. They don't like this because, well, here's a better one. When we went to, and this is right at the Cold War during the wall, we went to Gorbachev and said, listen, we'll make a deal. Unify Germany, bring down basically post-World War II and just stop this. And Gorbachev said, oh, no, NATO is going to go. Are you kidding me? And they said, we promise you, NATO will not step 1 foot east. Are you sure? Now, you're going to laugh at this. Gorbachev never got this in writing. And for years, they said, they never said that. And Gorbachev said, I swear to God, I'm not kidding. There were people who were there. Nobody was there. Nobody heard this. What kind of bullshit you're talking about? He said, it's not bullshit. I'm telling you. You told me. We never told you any such thing. Yes, you did. No, you didn't. Well, years later, I think it was George Washington University, they somehow found the archives, and sure enough, I forget who it was. It was Baker or somebody. They said, we will not move 1 inch east. Just not only did they do each, NATO just blew up. Everybody was a part of NATO. Everybody. And they're saying, what are you born in NATO for? There's no more Soviet Union. This is for 1991. Doesn't matter. And Kennan, who was, of course, the wise man, Mr. X, he said, I'm going to talk about it. I'm going to provide for something which is important. He said, containment. He was a father of containment. After the dissolution of the Soviet Union, they said, just dissolve NATO. This is you're just goading them. You're just goading them. And they said, are you kidding me? We have to keep the Soviet Union. He goes, there is no Soviet Union. What are you talking about? What the are you people talking about? There's no Soviet Union. That's what you wanted. Well, there's Russia. Why did they dissolve the Soviet Union? For what? So that they can, what? So that they can retake Poland? I don't understand. It doesn't make any sense. So in 2000, I recall, oh, there she is, Carla, the cooking CEO said, they had us programmed and brainwashed to see NATO as the world's order, with the USO as its lavish benefactor, pulling strings and footing the bill. Absolutely. That is exactly right. Because why, Carla? They kept throwing at us the notion, this myth of Americanism and the Ruskies. Oh, you can't trust those Ruskies, those Soviet, And Gorbachev said, there's no Soviet Union. God damn it, we just dissolved this. Doesn't matter. So Putin later on said, I have an idea. May we join NATO now? What? May we join NATO? He says, no, you can't. He goes, there's no more Soviet Union. He goes, what kind of logic is that? There's no more Soviet Union. We're Russia. Can we join to protect ourselves from the Soviet Union? And they said, get out of here. It was nothing about Russia, Soviet Union. It was a moneymaker. Now, here's the deal. A while back, before that, Gorbachev said, you lied to me. You said that you would not move 1 inch east, but you did. This is, excuse me, we made the deal with the Soviet Union. There is no Soviet Union anymore. What? There is no Soviet Union. You mean there's no deal? None. You're not going to honor your deal? No. Why? Because there's no Soviet Union. What? They actually said this. They actually, truly, actually, honestly said this. There's no Soviet Union. So whatever deal we made with this non-existing entity doesn't apply anymore. So that's why Putin said, well, if there's no Soviet Union, then let's us join NATO. No. What about the European Union? No. This is all nonsense. Think of NATO as this HOA, this homeowners association, or this weird kind of a franchise where you have to buy their stuff and their things and their equipment and their arms and that's what that is. It's a moneymaker. Oh, you want to be a part of NATO? Well, you got to spend this much for weapon systems and this much for this and this much. And if Article 5, if anybody, and we're in NATO still. If anybody attacks us, if anybody attacks a NATO country, we all have to come in and defend ourselves. Why do we have to go over there if somebody attacks who? We have to go fight? Why? Well, because who's going to defend us? Nobody's going to defend you. So why are we in it? What kind of a unilateral crap is this? Why do we have to agree to go do this? Does this make any sense to you? No. Remember something. No Russia, no NATO. Russia's the big evil bear, that dangerous, the chimera. It's the bad guy. It's the bad guy. It's the most critical thing in the world. I got to tell you this story. This is the most interesting too. There is by the way, you realize today is 75 days since the president's been in office. 75 days, 5% of his 1,461 days in office. I want to read this to you. There is this piece today, which is so interesting from, where is it? Oh, here we go. From Russia Today. RT, the best. Sorry. RT, read what they wrote. Since 2014, the New York Times has published more than 500 articles about RT. It's the most incredible thing in the world. They are possessed. They are absolutely. The New York Times published over 500 RT-related articles over the course of a decade. Research published by Johns Hopkins this week. The Russian multimedia organization RT has faced unparalleled levels of scrutiny and limitations imposed by Western nations in recent years. Actions directed against the broadcaster escalated between 2022 and 2024. According to the review, RT, as well as Chinese national broadcaster CCTV, quote, tend to dominate both popular and scholarly discourse about propaganda. Since 2014, the New York Times has published more than 500 articles about RT alone, while the vast majority of articles about propaganda published in top political science journals explore the effects of media run directly by the state. They are possessed. They are focused. They are out of their minds. They are so... I want to hear everything. I want to hear what China has to say. I want to hear what Taiwan has to say. I want to hear what Spain has to say. I want to hear what France has to say. I want to hear what everybody has to say. I want to hear what RT has to say. And they won't let you do it, because if you hear them, you'll say, aha, this is propaganda. And you can hear, I mean, is this America or what? Cut Up says, someone snatches the Risk game board and tosses it. Yep. Risk. That's a great game, wasn't it? They've got a hard-on, pardon my French, for RT. They're just crazy. So I'm thinking, well, they must be saying something right. Why? Well, they're going crazy over them. Let's hear it. When your parents told you, don't you listen to Alice Cooper. If I find out you're listening to School's Out for Summer, what are you talking? Who? Alice Cooper. If I find out, I want to hear him now, or her, or whoever Alice Cooper is. That's exactly the way they were. That's how these people work. They tell you, this is the United States of America. We have this thing called the First Amendment, and you're being told. And not only that, people who want to appear, Americans who wanted to appear on either RT or RT-related shows, even if not shown in the United States, were prohibited under OFAT rules. They could be imprisoned or charged for appearing somewhere else. If you want to go and you want to go on Taiwan TV or China TV or Indian TV or BBC or whatever it is, you should be able to do so, especially if it's not shown in this country. Think about that. It's like telling you can't travel there, or this is the insanity of the blinking. They are focused on Russia, and most of us, and I say this with all due respect, nobody gave a shit about Russia. Nobody thought, nobody cared. Nobody thought about it. Nobody wanted to go there. Nobody cared about it. Nothing. It was just like, okay. But they now make us think about it all the time. Pilgrim says, remember when listening to Wipeout was risque? Or Louie Louie by the Buckinghams, I believe. Yeah. Now, thank you for that. We are absolutely the most controlled, the most limited. I don't understand it. And let me explain to you one thing. You cannot understand another country unless you talk to them. I'm going to say this again, unless you talk to them. You can't understand another country unless you talk to them. Does this make any sense to you? I'm going to try it again. You have to talk to people. You have to talk to people. What is your issue? What do you want? What is it that you're saying? Kirill Dmitriev. This was the diplomat. This is so interesting. Diplomacy in international relations is the practice of managing negotiations between nations through peaceful dialogue, aiming to protect national interests, build alliances, resolve conflicts, and promote stability without resorting to force or coercion. This is what you have to remind CNN of. They don't understand this. It's the most incredible thing I have ever seen in my life. It just blows my mind. They have this thing. This Dmitriev. Why aren't we talking? He's finally able. I think he was able. They lifted the sanctions so he can talk. In fact, he tweets, as I am leaving the U.S., I wanted to thank everyone for a positive, honest, and constructive visit. And I wanted to thank X for finally verifying my account, so I am now officially me. I like this. He also writes, we've been tracking which media outlets keep pushing fake, negative narratives about Russia to undermine peace. They're a loud minority, but strangely in sync. So are they a part of a coordinated smear campaign or just coincidentally? So are they part of a coordinated smear campaign or just coincidentally idiotic? What are we doing? What are we doing? What is our problem? You've got to sit down. You got to talk to people. Xi Jinping, anybody, and say, what is it that you're doing? You're buying land right next to our military bases. You know we can't do this, right? You know we can't do this, right? But you keep missing my comment. Damn it. Let me get to the bottom of this one. You are right about that. Someone snatches the risk. Oh, remember when listening to Wipeout was risky? No, that's not you. But you keep missing my comment. No, I read it. I said someone snatches the risk game board and tosses it. I mentioned that cut up. I did. I said that. I said, yes, Rich, I said that. And I thank you immensely for this. Now, this is where we are. This is this world of I don't know what to call this. I am not a Russophile. I have nothing against Russia. And as far as China goes, I don't want to mess with China. Do you want to get into a war with China? No. Do you? No. Do you know we're going to have to send what? If there's a war with China, it's going to be over there. Do we have the ability to send our Navy, our troops over there? No. Forget it. They've got stuff no, there is no war with China. So why are you doing this? And let me also ask you another question. Well, everybody wants to get real tough with Iran. If Israel or somebody attacks Iran, Iran's going to turn to Russia and say, can you help us out? And Russia will say, absolutely. Just like we're helping Russia, Israel, they're going to do that. You want to get into a war with Iran or with Russia? You want to do this? What are we doing? You know this idea about I got your back. I got your back. What are we doing here? Our military is for shit right now. I'm sorry, I hate to be so blunt. We have basically, I don't even know if we have we not sold all of our munitions or stockpiles? Are we really seriously able to do this? No, we're getting into this thing where we got to be very careful. You got to watch what you say. I'm so sick of this. Look, I'm going to sound like an old hippie. The way I think, the way the Democrats used to think. I want peace in the world. It's what Christ would want. It's what Jesus would want. It's what any rational person would want. I want peace. What are we doing? I don't understand this. If you want to talk about this stuff, fine. You want to talk about anti-Semitism? Fine. Do it. There should not be hate speech. I don't know how you're going to prosecute it. But this is insanity. This is utter and absolute insanity. And if you keep talking about it, we're going to go there and we're going to send a lesson. And if you keep sending lessons to the Houthis, do you know anything about them? Do you know who these people are? Or who these people are? There's a pun there somewhere. No, you don't. Al-Ansar? No. Pepe Escobar has done some of the best reportage, bar none, inside Yemen. We don't even know where it is. Americans don't even know anything about it. But we want to go and send a message. I'm tired of sending messages. It's that sending the message shit which is going to get us into problems. It's that to whom it may concern stuff. That's the most ridiculous thing in the world. It's nuts. And I don't know who this thing is. And very frankly, I don't know if the president has the best. I hope Witkoff and Lutnick and everybody and Marco Rubio, do we have diplomats? Do we have people who want to go over there and speak calmly and rationally? Do we? Especially when we go to Russia and we say, listen, we want you to back up. Why? What do you mean, why? Why? We're winning. You want me to do what? Yes, we want a ceasefire for you to give about a month to give us chance to rearm. What? To rearm Ukraine. Why? Because they're the good. Ukraine's the good guy? Zelensky? Well, not really Zelensky. Well, what are you doing then? What's your problem with us? Well, you invaded. I didn't invade. I told you what we did. Were you going to invade Cuba? You want to go through that argument again? Do we have any idea of what we're talking about? Do we? Do we honestly have any idea? Now, let me say one thing something quickly, okay? I am telling you, and I'm saying this again, I don't know what's going to happen regarding tariffs and food. I don't know where we are. I know we're always used to having all the food in the world that we want and all of this stuff. And I recognize it. Believe me, I know this. But we are in a weird position right now. And the world is a very, very strange place. And what I'm going to tell you very, very clearly is simply this. If we ever have problems with food, if there's shutdowns, if there's strikes, if there's just some manufactured weather, I don't know what. I don't know whether you or anybody has the food available. I know that may sound crazy to you, but believe me, it's not crazy. And you know that. And that's why you should listen to this. Let me ask you a question. What happens when the trucks stop? Think about this. Trucks, the trucks that bring your food. And then when one store closes because of a riot or ransomware hit or a hurricane or even manufactured weather. Oh, yeah, we've talked about that. What happens when all of a sudden, suddenly, the entire supply chain collapses like dominoes? What happens then? We've seen it happen, and it doesn't take much. And that's the thing you've got to think about. A trucker strike, a cyber attack, some EMP, some Carrington class disaster, a city shut down by violence. It only takes one spark for shelves to go empty fast. And when that happens, and when that moment hits, you either have what you need or you don't. And that's why I am telling you, I want you to go to preparewithlionel.com. Our trusted friends at My Patriot Supply, they're offering unbelievable deals right now. You've got to see deals on emergency food kits that could save your life and your sanity. Over 2,000 calories per day. For 3 months of food per person, shelf stable for 25 years, in any kind of combinations you want, and made to taste like actual meals, not cardboard, not some military MRE. These kits aren't just insurance, they're peace of mind. So go to preparewithlionel.com, secure your kit, secure your future. Preparewithlionel.com, preparewithlionel.com, because when the world breaks down, the prepared don't panic. MRO Levon says, do you remember when Senator Robert Dole introduced us to his little blue friend Viagra? It was quite shocking to hear such a conservative old man admit to suffering from impotence, even having had sex. Well, interesting, because at that particular time, Bob Dole never said he used Viagra, but he publicly endorsed it in the late 1990s, making headlines as one of the first prominent political figures to speak openly about erectile dysfunction, but he never said he had it. In 1998, after Pfizer, shortly after the drug was approved, and he spoke about the importance of men discussing health issues like ED, breaking the stigma. While he endorsed the drug as a treatment option and encouraged men to talk to their doctors, he never said he personally used it. Never. It was implied. It was always talked about. It was always joked, but he never said he did. And our friend Pilgrim Media says, as Ed would say, you are correct, sir. Actually, that was Phil Hartman pretending to be Ed McMahon. Just the facts, man. Remember that from Joe Friday, Dragnet? He didn't say that, but Stan Freberg said that in a parody. Play it again, Sam. Never was said. Judy. Never was said. Carla says, I visited Russia, Asia, including China, Africa, and Cuba. Chatting with locals shows we share more similarities than globalists. One is the thing. Absolutely. You cannot understand the way a country thinks and the way people think unless and until you listen to them and ask them, what is it that you're looking for? What is it that you want? And it's the strangest thing I have ever seen. I can't believe it. I can't believe how people think that that they're what? That they sit and hate us? And what are you talking about? I'll never forget in Iranian times, what do you think was Iran's problem with us? Let's talk about Iran for a moment. Do you hate Iran? Best chocolates in the world, but that, I guess that would be Russia. Is that Russia? Do you, and thank you, do you, and this is important, do you really think that people are that different than the rest of us? Do you think they really, honest to God, care? Do you? I mean, do you think that we are, I don't know what the word is, so cosmically different than we are? It never ceases to amaze me when you find out, oh, by the way, yes, all my Easter candy is Russian. You know, I got to tell you something. There was something very interesting about Russians. I'll never forget this. This is very interesting. I think it's very interesting. There were people who, this is important. Somebody told me who was in organized crime, prevention and the like. New York City said, we used to deal with, after the fall of the Soviet Union, we started to meet Russian organized crime, Russian mafia, as they said. And they said there was something interesting when all of a sudden you have a bunch of people who are the bad guys and they're playing chess. And it's a different mindset. And it's a different way of thinking. And it's a different it's a different sensibility. What do you think the Americans represent to the people? What do people think when they are mistreated? Let's talk about the Iranians. Do the Iranians pose a threat? By the way, the WABC show, they will have it replay or something. They will have it. That was something. That was just wild. That was wild because it took calls, and calls are the greatest things in the world. But in any event, do you think Iran poses a threat to us? In 1953, Mossadegh was elected, and we decided, oh, no. We're going to reinstate the Shah, and we're going to get rid of him, and we're going to put on this coup, and it was called Operation Ajax. Remember this one? And it was Kermit Roosevelt. And Kermit Roosevelt, let me do you this. Go back to ChatGPT and put, what was Operation Ajax? You don't forget Google. And this has its limitations too, but it's very, very good. Operation Ajax was a covert CIA and British intelligence operation carried out in 1953 to overthrow the democratically elected Prime Minister of Iran, Mohammad Mossadegh, and reinstall the Shah. That is exactly what happened. The CIA labeled the operation TPA-JAX and saw it as a way to protect Western oil interests. And it was, by the way, it was okayed by Eisenhower, and it was Mossadegh had nationalized Iran's oil industry, which had previously been controlled by the British-owned Anglo-Iranian oil company, now British Petroleum, or BP. So that's that. When in 1979 we had our embassy there, it was a CIA spy operation. A CIA spy operation. When the students violated our airspace, just the way other countries violated Syrian sovereignty by attacking embassies and the like, they said, we don't care for this. Carla says, most important around the world, people want peace, love, happiness, health, and prosperity for themselves and their loved ones. Absolutely. Absolutely. I like this. Our good friend Vincent San Martino says, ask your friend what a neocon is. No, why don't you ask him? Why don't you ask him? Just kidding. I love you, man. Don't ever change. I mean that sincerely. So they went and they said, and they overthrew this, and the CIA, of course, basically shredded everything. So what the Iranians did was they said they took all of these kids, all of these folks, these youngsters that were around, youngsters, sound like Ed Sullivan, and they said, can you put together all of these, can you reattach, reconnect all of these shredded, shredders, and to put together these documents? And they did. I don't know how they did it. They took kids, they just went through this, and they put them together. And they said, you were plotting against us. Now, is that right or wrong? I don't know. They do it, we do it, everybody does it. Remember the Chinese embassy, was it in Washington, where it was all bugged? Okay, fine. Why should the Iranian people love us or like us? What is it that what is it? What have we done to them? 53, but what? Why would anybody like us? I don't understand this. I don't care about, well, they're a theocratic. That's up to them. You want to elect or appoint or have a mullah or an ayatollah? I don't care. It's your country. Do what you want. It's none of my business. It's none of my business. We have right now, listen to this. Let's go back to ChatGPT. How many military bases and in how many countries does the United States currently operate? Just put that question in. Ready for this? And it gives me two possible answers. Which one do I like? The United States maintains, as of 2024, 750 military bases in around 80 foreign countries. The distribution of U.S. military personnel overseas is significant. As of 2023, over 228,000 U.S. military personnel were stationed abroad. Japan, Germany, South Korea, Italy, the UK. Do we have any foreign people, any other foreign countries in our country? Do we have any foreign countries with military bases here in our country? Anybody? Do we? Do we? Do we? No. Do we? Why is it that we think, well, we're different. We're the policemen of the world. We're trying to make sure everything's okay. How is it that we work? How? How does this, how? So listen, you can do whatever you want. But if you don't keep in mind how others perceive us, we're wasting our time. We are wasting our time. China has police stations. Oh, no, sorry. You're right about that. China has police stations, and also China has spies and people here. Oh, yeah, baby. Oh, yeah. Somebody says, hey, Lionel, ask an Iranian woman what it's like to live under Muslim law. Great. Hey, what's it like living under Muslim law? Why don't you move? Hey, Iran, stop your, by the way, Sharia law is the wrong term. Hey, why don't you move from your theocracy and your morality codes? Why don't you stop that? Hey, you, stop that. Stop that. By what jurisdiction do I have? Oh, I agree with you. I think that's crazy. I don't want to live like that. I don't think women should cover it up, but they want to. Why is it that we should do that? So tell me. Tell me very, 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 this is important. What example? Okay, drummer, what should we do? An Iranian woman says, I hate it, I like it, I don't like it. What are we supposed to do? What am I supposed to do? What? This is their country. They have whatever their democracy. I don't know. What am I supposed to do? I didn't say Sharia law. I said Muslim law. Well, I said a lot of people make a mistake with the term Sharia. Okay, Muslim law. Now, drummer, what do you want to do? Let's assume that we don't like this. What would you like to do? You want to bomb them? You want to invade them? What if people say, excuse me, the majority of us want this. The majority of the women want this. There was a woman, you remember Karen Hughes years ago? Karen Hughes said, she asked people, she said, I just want you people, all you women, to be able to drive and not wear a veil. And I said, excuse me, I'm a pediatrician. I elect to wear a veil. Mother Teresa wore a veil. You have nuns in your country that wear veils. And I don't want to drive a car. I have a driver. What are you talking about? So let me ask a question. Here's drummer. Drummer, what do you want to do? Do you want to tell Iran you can't have theocratic laws? What do you want to do? Hey, Iran, stop, overthrow this. Okay. What do you want to do? How about caning laws? How about countries where you can't drink that are just all dry? Or what? What is it that you want? They never can tell you this. It's this haughty American hubris that says, well, ask them what they think about that. But they live there. What's that country? Drummer says, don't encourage it. Encourage what? You don't know what the hell you're talking about. Look what he writes. Don't encourage it. You have no idea what you're talking about. And I thank you for coming forth, but you have no idea what you're talking about. Who's encouraging it? Do you have any idea what you're saying? Do you think about when you write this? You say, I'm going to say something. I'm going to write, what about women in the veil? Yeah. You want to think about that? No, I don't have to think about it. I'll just write it. And I'm going to write, don't encourage it. Who's encouraging it? I don't care. I'm just writing this stuff. I don't think about what I say. I just write this stuff. This is America. This is America right here. Don't encourage it. We think like we can tell people what they can do. Hey, don't do that. Don't do that. We don't like your dietary laws. We don't like circumcision rights. No. This is the theocracy. This is a theocracy. You can't do that. Really? You don't have a theocracy in your country? Oh, no. In God we trust on coins, on courtrooms? No, that's different. Why is that different? Well, because America is Christian. What? Well, it's not theoretically Christian. You see that? We just say this stuff. This is what's wrong with us. It's none of your goddamn business what Iran or Israel or France or anybody else has. It's not your business. That's their problem. And if the people of Iran, can't change it, can't outvote it, can't change the law, don't look at me. Jennifer says, I don't believe we should inflict our beliefs on other countries. I agree. I mean, this is seriously. It's your country. You can do whatever you want to do. That's it. It's none of our business. You might like this. People might like women wearing mandatory rules of you can't shave a beard or you can't. I don't know. And let's assume that there's another country. Remember, let me tell you this one. This was the worst one. What were the years in which the DRC had women who were violently abused by soldiers and the like during war, and fistulas were the product? By the way, sometimes if you say fistula, it'll type something that. Here we go. The Democratic Republic of the Congo has endured multiple brutal conflicts, particularly from the mid-1990s to the present, during which sexual violence against women became widespread and systematic, often used as a weapon of war. One of tragic consequences has been the high number of women suffering from obstetric fistulas, a condition which severe trauma causes a tear between the vagina and the bladder or the rectum, often due to the R word by soldiers or gang R. And there it is right there. 1996 and 1997. Let's see. How about this? Total number. It's the most horrible thing you've ever seen in your life. We didn't do anything. We absolutely did nothing. It was the most horrible. You could just go and look at this. It's the most incredible. I don't want to get too much into the specific because of YouTube sensibilities. We didn't do anything with that. Nothing. We didn't go over there. We didn't do a thing. Women were, thank God for American doctors who went over there and helped these women because fistulas can be corrected surgically. But forget wearing a hat or a veil or whatever. This was on. We didn't do anything. Now, I wouldn't have minded doing something because it would have been minor. A couple of Black Hawk helicopters, and they say, anybody who touches a woman here, we're doing this. Why? Because we'll have the UN. The UN didn't care. Nobody cared about this. It's not important. Iran, that's different. That's different. I love the way we think about stuff that bothers us. Look this information up. It is the most you cannot believe that happened. So that's all I'm saying to you, dear friends. In any event, our good friend Carla says, oh, Carla, that's right. Carla, thank you so much. Cut Up Chatter. Carla, again, thank you. Pilgrim, Amelia, MRO Levon. Yes, and thank you. Our thing, if you want to see something interesting, look at babies. Any baby in any part of the world. Oh, there's that thumb thing again. And there's a baby. A little cute, beautiful little baby. I don't know why it's doing this. I'm not moving my hands. And this is the most important. They laugh, they coo, they play, they giggle. They're all the same. Doesn't matter where. Doesn't matter. They speak the same language. Everything. The orientation, they may look a little different, but they're all identical. And then once they get past a certain age, then they're contaminated. And then they become affected by culture and violence and the like. And it's really something to be seen. And it goes to show you how if we could somehow get to these people ahead of time, get to them seriously ahead of time, and recognize this fact, and kind of embrace this alleged Christian, theology, I think things would be so much better. But it's not. It's horrible. And what we do to our children, what is happening to our children, the victimization, you have no earthly idea. You have absolutely no earthly idea. None. In any event. So, by the way, last I hope you heard it on WABC. That was fun. I think we'll try it next week again. See if it works out. You never know. Never know with these things. I think people liked it. It was great getting back to do talk radio, because talk radio can be great. Radio is kind of, it's okay. Music radio, I don't know. There's certain radio which is the most important. Wire monkeys. This isn't the Harlow experiment, wasn't it? Is this the cloth monkeys? The Harry Harlow? Was it Harlow's monkeys, if I recall correctly? If that's what you're talking about. Music radio, I think, has a hard time. Sports radio, on fire. Urban and Latino morning, on fire. On fire. There's something to be said for that. Conventional, regular stuff. But the thing that talk radio does not do, and I don't know why, they stop taking calls. And that is my forte. Not forte, my forte. All right, dear friends, thank you so much. Remember, make sure you are subscribed to Lionel Nation. Lionel Nation. Because you never know when I'm going to pop up, which is critical. Also, Mrs. L, Lynn's Warriors at 5 o'clock today. 5 o'clock. It is a live at 5. So make sure you listen. We'll talk to you later. Have a great and a glorious day. And thank you so very much for joining me. Remember, until then, remember the monkey's dead. The show's over. Sue you. Dead.